Yes, yes, yes. How is everybody doing today? Welcome back to War on Culture. I'm your host, Uncle Chisel. It's a beautiful, God-blessed day today, and I am feeling so good. Hopefully, y'all feeling the same way. This is episode number 3. I think the third time's a charm. That's what they say, right? I saw them say. So today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got a big show coming up for you, man. A lot of important things to be passed on today. This one is about living honestly. Let's get into it. All right. Without any further ado, I like to usually start the show by opening up some word of wisdom in the Word, which is the Bible. I do use the New International Version because it's a little bit easier for people to understand. Not a lot of thee, thou, they, thou shalt nearest. You know what I'm saying? People don't even speak like that. People don't even speak English no more. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do is we're going to give God his time to open it up. And the first reading of the word comes from Isaiah 33, verses 15 to 16. And it says, "Those who walk righteously and speak what is right, who reject gain from extortion and keep their hands from accepting bribes, who stop their ears against plots of murder and shut their eyes against contemplating evil, they are the ones who will dwell on the heights." Glory to God. Now the second reading that we got here in the word, I like this one. This one comes from Hebrews chapter 13, verse 18. And this one's really simple. It's not a lot. Very simple. And it says, "Pray for us. We are sure that we have a clear conscience and desire to live honorably in every way." Glory to God. Now those two little openings in this context of living earnestly or living honestly is a thing that seems to be lost. You know, you got all these OnlyFans out there, and you got all, everybody jugging, everybody scamming, everybody doing something under the table, all these hustling type things that people do in this world to pay their bills, to get by. Are they wrong? Morally, I'm going to say yes. I've done crime before. I'm not proud of any of it. I'm actually embarrassed. But in order to get you to understand where my perspective is coming from, you got to understand that just because everybody doing it does not make it cool. No, it don't work like that. How it works is you must have some sort of principles. You must have some sort of guidance that keeps you on the righteous side. Otherwise, you will be on the wrong side of it. And no one likes to be on the wrong side. I mean, try driving down the wrong side of the road. It's not going to go too good for you. You know what I'm saying? So what exactly does it mean to live honestly? And it's described as, it simply means that when you act with integrity and truth. You have confidence in your good judgment about when to speak up and when to be silent. Now that's actually pretty simple, right? Most people, when they act out of culture, what everybody else doing, or they act out of a cause, like, okay, I'm behind on this, I need to do this. They believe these things. They make it so in their mind that they justify these types of actions. But you know damn well that you are not living honestly. And you'd be lucky to believe that everything you did here and you just die and go in the dirt and no one has anything to say about that. You'd be very lucky if that happened to you. But if people believe in karma, people believe in ghosts, people believe in all these things, that should kind of show you that, hey man, there is something after here. Especially if that's a widespread belief. So how you live here definitely, and I mean definitely, defines how you live somewhere else, which would be in heaven, or I don't even want to say it, HE double hockey sticks. Woo! Not going there. I don't even like heat. I don't even like to be scared. If somebody jump around the corner at me, I'm like, ah! You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't want to go to hell. I don't know about you. Maybe you think you're going to be there with your homies and you're going to be turning up, smoking and drinking, and all the baddies, them going to be there twerking. You obviously have not experienced a hellacious vibe or something that made you feel terrified. And everybody got fears. Everybody has fears. Everybody has things that they're scared of. Everybody has things that they would never want to happen to them or people they love. The beauty of it is Jesus describes hell very, very clearly. And it's exactly all of your fears. Everything you don't want to happen, it will happen to you in hell. So you think you and your friends gonna be there turning up and drinking? Ha! Ha ha! All right, go on. Just go. Let's see how it goes for you. So, we got some examples of how to live honestly here. I came for it. So in case you don't understand what it would take to live honestly, there's a couple quick pointers. The first one, being truthful communication, which means you speak honestly and openly with others, whether it's in personal relationships or a professional setting. Avoid dishonesty, exaggeration, or manipulation in your words. That one, the first one, communication. So many people are capping. So many people are lying. And it shows because they don't believe in being honest. So how are you really going to be mad at them for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be mad at people for doing what they can do, right? But you can definitely keep yourself out of that circle, out of them type of people's face, and keep yourself to yourself if them type of people are out there, because everybody's lying. You see all these commercials on TV, they're like, use this drug, it's wonderful. The last minute of the damn commercial, they're like, might cause heart attack, might make your mama mad. Like, it's just got a whole bunch of stuff that ain't really necessary. So that's not honest. If they would have told you that stuff first and then told you about the product, you probably would not buy it. If they would have told you that, hey, we only tested it on 1,000 people, but 5,000 people had a negative reaction and we're actually in court getting sued over it, you probably wouldn't do it. Right? Okay? So, truthful communication is huge, aka paramount to living earnestly and honestly. You know what I'm saying? Another way to live honestly is authenticity in relationships. Be yourself in relationships. Express your feelings honestly. And avoid pretending to be someone you're not to please others. So, everybody knows an IG model that doesn't look the same in person, but they share a relationship with you. You saw them that same day. They posted a picture later looking completely different. You're like, oh man, I wonder what they're not telling me about themselves. I wonder what they're really hiding, because you could have easily just left the filters out. You're still pretty. It's not like you're detestable to look at, but that authenticity doesn't reside in that person. They need to be somebody else. They'll put on this mask like it's what's that Mardi Gras. They'll put on a mask and it's a masquerade now. You know what I'm saying? Just so you don't get to find out who they are. That's kind of dark, no? I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't care if people don't like me. Anybody who knows me no response. If you don't like me, take away yourself. See? Because I'm not going to compromise my integrity, my authenticity, and my originality just to please you. If you ain't pleased, there's 7.9 other billion people you can't go bother. Take away yourself, please. Thirdly, is ethical decision making, which means you make moral and ethical choices in your daily life, considering the impact of your actions on others and the environment. Now that one's really deep, because before you do something, you really have to consider every angle of what you're doing, who it affects, and how it affects them. Excuse me. Consideration is something, Hello. I had some coffee this morning. I'm a little bit uppity. So these ethical decision-making processes are very difficult to come across nowadays. It's hard for people to ethically make a right decision because there's so much pressure and outside noise on what you should be doing, what you should be thinking, and how you should get it. You know what I mean? So the impact of your decision, if you think this impacts a community negatively, it impacts your relationship negatively, or even a person negatively, why do it? Because I guarantee you, you would not want someone to make a decision that impacts you negatively. Doesn't matter, or someone you love. Let's say it's your little sister, your mom, your grandmama, your dad, your brother, your best, your home slice. You wouldn't want nobody making a decision that has them in jeopardy or harming them. So why would you do the same thing? The Bible, it also says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's a good parable to live by. Good parable to live by. Another way to live honestly is honesty with oneself. Oh, hey, all right. So, reflect on your own actions, values, and beliefs honestly. Which means when you're reflecting, don't overlook things that you know that you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Reflect on it honestly and be like, hey, is this right, man? Am I living right? Self-awareness is key to living an authentic life. So it's not about self-awareness meditation and then after that you go out and you do your own little thing and you're fake again. You must know who you are. In Jamaica, they have a saying, and the Caribbean in general, which is part of my culture where I was raised, them say, know yourself. But they say it a little bit different in Jamaica. They kind of say it to you, like for you to like get a grip of what you're doing and don't make the wrong decision. They're like, yo, Mike, know yourself. It's kind of like a, hey, be easy, bro, before something bad happened to you. You know what I'm saying? But the point is still the same. You must know yourself. Check yourself. You know what I mean? No, if you don't want nobody else to do it, then you must check yourself. That's yaldatory. That's another Jamaican thing, but we call it mandatory. That's mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Another way to live authentically and honestly, and this one I think I already covered a bit of it, but we're gonna cover some more. Honesty on social media. Avoid posting false or misleading information on social media platforms and engage in constructive, truthful online interactions. I think that one is simply, it's been said many times in many hashtags, many other different forums and podcasts. Stop the cap! That's what that actually means. Simply, stop the cap. Stop it. Cut it out. Just cut it out, please. We can't take it no more, man. Just cut out the cap, man. Please. It's okay if you want to wear a baseball cap, you know what I'm saying? But stop the cappery, please. I beg you. And the final thing, well, not final, but my last point on this especially, is to acknowledging your own mistakes. When you make a mistake, admit it. Learn from it. And take responsibility for your actions. Don't blame nobody else. Don't come up with 50,000 different scenarios to make you look like you never make a mistake. I know some people that will drive around for hours. This is before GPS, obviously. They drive around for hours, lost. People like, yo, bro, are you lost? I'm like, nah, man, I know where I'm going. It's just, yo, they closed off this road. Like, oh, last time I came from another direction. You're full of it. You've made a mistake. It's time for you to accept it. You could blow up at somebody one day, get super duper mad, say things that you never meant to say. But your pride will be like, nah, I'm not even going to go back to them and say, yo, who cares about them, bro? Forget them. That's not acknowledging your mistake. You know that you did something wrong. By covering it up does not cover up the mistake. Like, a lot of people wear cover up on their face. I'm not trying to diss, you know? But is that really them? No. They know it's not. You can't cover up those kind of things. It's better to just be honest. You know what I mean? And if you make a mistake, which is human of all of us, you can be forgiven. You can overcome that. That's not a big deal. It's not. Some people make the biggest mistake of their whole life and ruin their whole life. But most mistakes that you make, you can be forgiven. It can be overlooked. Now, if you make a huge mistake that ruins your entire life, there is still redemption for you as long as you are alive. There's been people who've committed murder, who've been given a life sentence, who've repented, did their time, and they're back on the streets now. Might have been 30 years later. Might have been 35 years. They did make that mistake. They did do their time, and they're back part of society now. So mistakes can be forgiven. You can rise above your mistake. But if you let that mistake lead you for the rest of your life, you cannot get away from it, then you're doomed. So there's just some quick little pointers for you to judge yourself on how you would like to live honestly. Now, this one is a question that someone asked me a long time ago. A younger brother of mine, he was like, yo, big dog, how can you live honestly even though your circumstances aren't ideal? And when it seems like everyone around you is doing wrong just to get by? And that's very likely, especially in today's day and age, where a lot of people are doing wrong openly. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't mind. And it's up to you to make the decision whether you're going to follow them and then face your judgment on Judgment Day, or you're just going to live right. But if you're one of those people who's still in the face of adversity and all your peers are doing wrong, you still want to live right, but you don't know how, here are some key factors that should allow you to make this decision a little bit more easy for you. All right. So the first one here, boys and girls, it's called self-reflection. Just like know yourself. It's the exact same thing. Start by examining your values and principles. Identify what honesty means to you and why it's important. Now, you can't say, oh, honesty is not a big thing for me, I don't really mind, because no one likes to be lied to. I have yet to meet a single human being who was lied to and was like, yo, that was blessed, it's all right, still the money just lied to me, but it's nothing, I don't care. No one likes it. You feel some type of way. Don't overlook that. That's the honesty in you. You want it to be reciprocated, right? Even if you're a scammer, if a man scams you, you're gonna be pissed. Why? Why wouldn't you be happy? Like, it's all good. He got me. Yeah, he took me for 150 grand, $1 million. Yeah, but I done scammed a whole bunch. No, you're going to be upset, just like how you made other people. So reflect a bit on yourself as to how and what honesty means to you. Secondly, you can take small steps. You don't have to make leaps and bounds into being a different person every hour of the day. Take little small steps. Begin with small, manageable steps towards honesty. So if there's something you usually lie about, try not to. It's hard to say small steps towards honesty. It's got to be something inside of you. You'll see, if you have that much dishonesty going on around you, then just pick one thing that you know is wrong and cut that out. And then as you learn to cut that out, cut the next one out until you start getting down the list and you're like, wow, I've cut out all of these immoral and dishonest things out of my life. I am a better person now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's better to be like that. Just small steps. You don't have to drastically change. A pastor once told me, he said that you can't make a 180 change in who you are today. But a 1% change every day, in 6 months, you're a whole new person. There's 180, for those of you who are not good at math, I have Asian blood, so I do it like this. Boop, bow, bow. So 365 is 12 months. Half of that be 180. 182.5, but who's being technical? So 6 months from now, after one thing you change every day that you don't like about yourself, you will be an unrecognizable human being, especially to your peers who've known you to be that type of person. For myself, I'll give you an example. Anybody who knows me, since I was 11 years old, I was on some gang banging vibes. I was initiated on some blood foolishness. I went to jail multiple times. I've lived where I didn't do anything honestly until I reached my 30s. I did crime every day. Every day. A couple months ago, I made a decision to give back my life to Christ, who actually protected me through all the foolishness. After watching so many people die, get life sentences, get deported, or just move away so they didn't have to be around, I really took stock of what I was doing and started to make incremental changes. 6 months later, I'm unrecognizable to everybody who knew me. My family members, my peers are like, bro, what are you on? Like, you're different, man. And I tell them, it's glory to God, because it wasn't on my strength, but something inside of me that was put there by God had me looking at life differently. So I made incremental changes to get where I am right now. And I'm still not done, but I'm way further away from where I started at. And I am still unrecognizable to people who knew me as a derelict, a delinquent, a criminal, a lowlife. I'm completely different from that. I haven't done crime since I gave my life back to God. I don't drink. I don't smoke anymore. I'm trying to cut out swearing. I'm trying to cut out lustful thoughts, because we all still have certain things that you need to eradicate before you can see God's face, right? So I'm still working, but let me tell you, glory to God, this is a piece of work that I couldn't even have imagined. I would never imagine myself not smoking weed. I'm well in my 30s. I've been smoking weed since I was 11. That's over 20 years. I don't do it no more. I don't drink no more. You know what I mean? I don't want to do crime. I did crime for well over 20 years of my life. I don't want to do it. So these are things that you can feel the same type of change and freedom and liberation from the old you into a new you by just taking some small steps and know where you're going and what's really important to you. Now, back to the list. So, third little thing you could do is seek support, right? Reach out to supportive individuals or organizations that can provide guidance, resources, or counseling on personal growth and ethical living. Now, most people in our culture, in our society, they don't want to ask somebody for help. They'd rather go on their phone, look it up, come to whatever conclusions they could in their mind, and then go off of that. It takes a deep strength to seek support. Now, when you seek support, there are ways to align yourself with the right types of people who you want to be around. Make sure their principles align with what yours are now. Like, you know, if you was a person who did foolishness your whole life and now your principles are changed, well, what are they? Find groups that align with that. There's churches, there's mosques, there's Facebook groups, there's groups in the back of the magazines, and hey, Google, I want to find this. Type out the longest question, most descript in a search bar. That's what a search engine is, and it'll point you directly to what you're looking for. So there's no reason to feel despair. All is not lost. You will be fine. In the name of God, you will be all right. Trust me. Fourth thing you could do. Now this one, I know for a fact, most of y'all don't like to do this. I don't understand why in our culture, we do not like to be literate. We don't mind littering, and we don't mind speaking out of illiteracy, but this step should help you a little bit. It says improve financial literacy. If applicable, educate yourself about personal finance and how budgeting works. Now, literacy means you have to read a little bit, you have to do a little bit of study, you have to gain some knowledge. Most people don't want to do that. They could tell me what celebrity is beefing with who. You could tell me who's sponsored by what, who's playing who in the finals, who the best pick for. You could tell me all these things about that you've read. You've took your time to read, to put that in your mind. But you don't want to learn nothing else. You don't want to read nothing else. You're like, I'm not at school. Who's trying to read, bro? Like, yo, I'm just trying to turn up and live, fam. You don't know. That's foolish. You could tell who these foolish people are that you encompass their space. You could tell they're foolish. Don't be one of them. Educate yourself. Read on how to become more financially literate, because your finances will give you more opportunities to be around people who are better for you. Now, if you broke and can't go nowhere, bro, all you got is what's around you. If you figure out how to educate yourself, that way you add value and become more valuable as a person, sky's the limit. Another way to live honestly, even though the world around you feels like it's falling down, is community engagement. Get involved in your community through volunteer work or advocacy. We all live in a community somewhere. Maybe your community is, white picket fences and everybody got a dog. So go around and figure out what that community would need to flourish even more. Figure out who's unhappy in your community and why, and what you could do to assist that. That'll give you peace of mind. That'll come from your heart. That'll make you feel better. And God will bless you for it. I ain't gonna lie to you. He definitely gonna bless you for it. When you look out for your community, when you look out for others, God will definitely have your back. You feel me? Another way to do, we just touched on this briefly, is build skills. Invest in education and skill development to increase your opportunities for better employment and financial stability. Let me read that again, because I don't really have to explain that one. That one's pretty simple. Build skills. Okay? Maybe you can twist a spliff really, really good. Maybe you can drink a whole bottle of rum to your face and drive home. Those are not skills. Sorry. Maybe you're wicked at 2K. You dunk on everybody or COD, or you're wicked with that. You drive real fast. Those are not skills. Those are just things you do. A skill is something that has value, that you can add monetary value to. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're really good at video games, they do have leagues for stuff like that now. So if you're going to be a professional video gamer or professional driver, they do have things like that for you. But if you're doing it for fun, it's not a skill. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's just not. You want to be paid for your skills. You want to be appreciated and acknowledged for them, at least in a community of people who are respectable. So add to that, man. Invest in your education and skill development to increase your opportunities. What's wrong with going to school? You sit around every day looking for more money, can't figure it out, you don't want to go back on school then. Add to your portfolio, come out of that, be like, hey, I learned something different. Now I do digital marketing. Now I could make you a flyer. Now I'm a producer of some sort. Now I'm a technician, I'm an electrician, I'm a carpenter. Whatever skill you add to yourself through education can only benefit you. Change your surroundings and have you feeling more like you're living honest, because you're getting paid off of your skill. You're being appreciated for the value that you add to your community and the world around you. You can't beat that, man. I don't care what you think. You cannot beat that feeling. Another thing you could do when the whole world is going up in flames around it, to keep yourself grounded and godly and honest. Because I know some people don't like the word godly. They're like, God. They get all scared and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So in order to keep yourself grounded and honest, you could also avoid illegal activities. Ain't that something? It sounds simple, right? Resist the temptation to engage in illegal or unethical activities. The first word is resist, which means, I know a lot of people who don't drink, they don't smoke. You can't get them to. I'd be like, yo, man, you wanna smoke a spliff? Here. They're like, Their resistance tolerance is super high. If they don't drink, you'd be like, yo, have a shot, bro. It's all good. Don't worry. What's one gonna do? They're like, no, I ain't doing it. People who don't like certain things, they become very good at resisting it. So you must now put it in your mind that you don't like this kind of stuff, and you must resist these types of activities with every fiber of your body. You can't resist it for 2 weeks and then back on it. I've done that many times with drinking, many times with smoking, many times with crime. I resist for a bit and then, you know what? True. Let me just do it. No, that means I wasn't resisting. It means I was lying to myself. Constant resistance is what you measure. You don't measure the 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 times that you did it. You have to constantly resist it. Resist the temptation to engage in illegal or unethical activities. Glory to God. Another way you can keep yourself honest when the world around you is going wrong is your support networks. Build a supportive network of friends and family who can provide emotional support and encouragement as you work towards a more honest and fulfilling life. Now that point is very, very, very important. Some of y'all don't have family. Some of y'all don't have positive people that you can go look for and they can keep you on the up and up, right? So your family might have to be your friends. It might have to be a communal group that you just found somewhere that shares your like interests. But at least you'll have the support of others who feel exactly like you, who will motivate you and push you towards becoming the person that you want to be. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all that you're looking for. Now, what are some of the benefits from living an honest life, right? Because people will be like, oh man, I got to struggle. I could just go out there and jug and pay these little bills off, but I'm behind on certain things. And if I just do this little one thing and then get over it, or, make myself $1 million and then quit, all these ridiculousnesses, you're still going to feel the results of those decisions. Doesn't matter if you made $1 million and you quit tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That's going to come back to you some way, shape, form, or fashion. You know what I mean? So some of the benefits of living an honest life is trustworthiness. Honest individuals are seen as trustworthy, fostering strong and reliable relationships. So if people don't trust you, the closest people to you, people you love, people you just meet, that should bother you. I know there's a couple people that I know who have a tattoo that reads, "Don't trust me because I don't trust you." That means you're not trustworthy at all. You have to trust people. You trusted your parents for years, or maybe you didn't have parents. You trusted whoever was helping you out for you to live a life that got you to where you are now. Some people's parents died when they're young and they had to raise themselves at a young time. But there's someone back in the memory of they have that they trusted to help them out. Because as a kid, the world will eat you alive. So there's no way you made it as a child without having to trust certain people and people actually helping you because they were righteous. So even if you think you did it all on your own, look back into your history as to how that came to be. And you'll see that, hey, there's people who are trustworthy that you had to trust. You go to the grocery store. You trust that it's going to be open to feed you. You trust that they're going to do their job to feed you. You know what I mean? You go to a doctor. You trust that they're going to help you. So there's many times that you had to trust. So be someone that can be trusted as well. Fulfillment all over it. I got fulfillment written all over it. I can't even lie to you. Another benefit of living an honest life is improved mental health. Now, in a time like this, mental health is extremely important, right? So if you're feeling bad about the decisions you're making and you're feeling down and constantly like, man, I wish I could get over this monkey on my back, honesty reduces stress and anxiety, promoting peace of mind and emotional well-being. I am pretty sure all of those things is something that people every day are looking for. Stress, anxiety, no one can avoid that, but you can minimize it. Promoting peace of mind and emotional well-being. You can't beat these things. Like the way an honest life is sounding, it's sounding like you're a king on a throne. The way you have to feel really highly about yourself. And side note, the most revered and respected people in our communities, in our cultures, are usually the most honest. Not the people who are feared the most, the ones who are respected the most and revered. Now, people fear people for all kind of different reasons. Usually things that are not really good, like harm, someone doing you something. That's not a good person to be around. But if people are loved and revered, it's because of their trustworthiness. It's because of their honesty. It's because of their character and how they live. That's why. It's not just because they're, you know what I mean, people just love them. There's reasoning behind it, you know what I'm saying? Another benefit of living an honest life is authenticity. What that means is living honestly allows you to be your true self, leading to a more authentic and fulfilling life. You never feel like you have to put on a mask when you're around certain people and take it off and you get to relax then, but you're uptight and nobody gonna figure you out when you got the mask on. Your authentic self gets to be more free. Who you are gets to be more free. And that is paramount. Another benefit is you will get an ethical reputation, which means honesty contributes to a positive reputation and ethical standing, opening up opportunities and respect from others. Now, being a person who doesn't have a lot of opportunities, being a person who might be underprivileged, impoverished a bit, opportunity should mean money, right? So you'll meet people who will trust you with stuff. They'll say, hey man, you look like you need some help with something. Come here, let me help you out a little bit. That's an opportunity. That's an opportunity you didn't have. Just because your character spoke to them and made them want to help you. Because that same person could see you living and moving funny, and people will catch these funny movements that you're doing and be like, nah, don't bring that guy or don't bring that girl around me, man. I don't trust their vibe. Now, boom, you just cut yourself off from an opportunity that you actually needed just because you wanted to be selfish and live fake. Ha! Finally, last benefit that I wanted to call out here is better decision making. You will get the benefit of being able to make better decisions when it's time for you to make them, because we've all made bad decisions, and some of us regret it, some of us learn from it and learn to make better decisions. But making better decisions is growth. You know what I mean? Growth in life. And better decision making means that honesty encourages self-reflection and informed decision making, leading to personal growth and better choices. Right? So, after all I've said about living honestly, when you look at somebody in that big house, they bust down Rolex, all these diamonds on, you know what I'm saying, designer, everything, driving a big Phantom or a Urus, find out what that person really does, how they really live, before you be like, oh, that's great, this person got all that. Some people put on all these things and buy all these things to make it look like they're doing really well, to hide the pain that they're really going through inside. People don't trust them. They've robbed and stolen their fortune to get that. Now they have to have people around. They have to have a gun on them. They can always circle in the block and, yo, who's that? Yo, So you can see that, yeah, you driving and you living like that, but your dishonesty haunts you every second. A lot of girls out there like, oh, I'm just in school, but they over there doing the most on camera or, behind closed doors, but they don't want no one to know. They don't want their parents or their family to figure it out, or they don't want no one who they respect in a professional setting to figure that out because they're ashamed of it. It's because you're not being honest. You know what I mean? And if you really see somebody out there who's living dishonestly, who's just don't care about nobody, who's a horrible person to, like, you know what I'm saying, and they can have all that stuff, would you want to be that person? Would you want to hang around that kind of person? Would that person be your friend? Would that be somebody you're like, yo, that's my people? And then people be like, oh yeah, he's good. No, everyone's gonna be like, yo, what you doing with this guy? Shawty, what you hanging out with this girl for? You know what I'm saying? So no matter how you try to shake it, the material things will never cover up who you really are and how people really view you. I know countless people who look like they are multimillionaires. They are fronting heavy, and they will do anything to never be discovered because that'll ruin their reputation. People be like, oh, I thought he was up. I thought she was booming. Like, yo, I thought that was her crib or his yacht or his, you know what I'm saying? They will do anything to make you not find them out because that'll ruin their reputation and it'll ruin their own self-worth in their own heart. So they'll do everything and be fake just to make you feel some type of way so they can feel some type of way. Now, can you imagine living like that? Can you imagine how terrible that would be to live? Every day, you're terrified that people are going to discover you and figure out that you're a waste youth. I couldn't do it. I would never compromise my integrity or my personality for people to just appreciate me. And then every day when I look in the mirror and I lay my head on my pillow at night, I feel like crap, man. So in closing, I will promote this honest living to everybody. Be more honest in your day-to-day interactions. Be more honest in your life. Get away from the fakeness. If you cannot escape it, be by yourself, do some self-reflection, and build on your qualities that'll make you a better person. Don't look for somebody else to help you out. Don't look for none of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's in you. God gave you the blessing of life. He gives you strength if you look to him for it, and you do have the strength to be a better person. And if that's what you want, hopefully after today, you will definitely become that person. In God's will. Again, you know what we say over here. If you got any value from this content whatsoever, click like, subscribe, share so this platform and this channel gets the reach it deserves. Because a lot of people want to hear the value that you just got. And I appreciate you, all the people who are watching. I appreciate you for taking this time out to even hear me talk. I appreciate that. God loves you for it. I love you for it. So, as we complete this last episode of War on Culture, I want these things to sit with you as you go about your week, as you go about your day. Be more honest. Check yourself, man. Know yourself. Love y'all, man. Peace.